Welcome back, true believers and all you merry Marvelites, to another very intriguing video relating to the upcoming Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy video game, which is still planned to fully release within the fall of this year of 2021 on October 26th. And as of the time of this recording, it is August 19th, which is very, very crazy that we're only a little over 2 months away until this game completely launches. And even though it seems like we haven't heard a lot about it, we did get a major info dump of it pretty much back when it was first revealed during E3 of this year back in June. And we've also kind of got a little bit of tidbits here and there and a cinematic showcase with the cutscene of the game with Lady Hellbender. But now we do have an element of the game in two various ways. The first of which I will leave as a link in the description if you want to read it for yourself, is pretty much diving more into the narrative, lore, and background of each character in a PlayStation blog post for the Guardians of the Galaxy, which was technically revealed back during E3 2021 in their initial press release, but this kind of reiterates things and kind of puts things into a better perspective if you want to keep up with what exactly the story is prior to the events of what we're seeing in the game itself. And also, one particular element that we do have a behind the scenes video for that I'm going to react to, which I'm personally very, very excited about, especially given my own personal background with this type of media, and that is of course music. I'm a massive, massive music lover. I mainly get my passion for music from my dad, who's also a major fan of music and was also in a band back in his youthful days, which is pretty awesome. But this is really what I think is going to differentiate this game compared to another game like what we've seen from Marvel, either with that of either the Insomniac Spider-Man games with Spider-Man PS4 or Miles Morales, and mainly the previous Square Enix Marvel game of Marvel's Avengers. Mainly because this is of course a single-player, third-person, story-driven action-adventure game, so it's a complete 180 to the live service elements that we saw in Marvel's Avengers, but mainly here doing kind of a Telltale-esque type of story where you can choose certain points of the story as Star-Lord, and you're only playing as Star-Lord as well. But the music, I think, was what going to differentiate this game and its experience compared to the more cinematic and orchestral scores that we have seen from the previous games and even some of the MCU stuff, and mainly the Guardians films with the James Gunn aesthetic of the 70s music. This is much more 80s rock, metal, in space, mixed with what I see from their Twitter posts, an orchestral score, which is very, very exciting. I think that's very unique and interpretive compared to some of the much more safer stuff we've seen. Kind of similar even to Miles Morales, where they had it labeled as orchestral synth pop with kind of the hip-hop and trap beats with the classic Spider-Man swelling theme scores. And I think that they're trying to do the exact same thing here for Guardians, but with metal and orchestral stuff at the same time. So as a music fan, I'm totally into this. I'm very excited to learn more about the musical aesthetic of this game. And we also know they're going to have licensed music in there as well with some 80s bands. I really hope we get some Metallica in there. Master of Puppets is the main song I'm hoping for the most. But I'm very curious to learn more about exactly what type of inspirations they're taking from with their own personal music preferences. So as this video goes on to describe in the YouTube channel, of course, on the main, channel account for Eidos Montreal, it does go on and state that from an all-star mixtape of licensed 80s tracks to an original rock album by Star-Lord the band, learn all about the music in Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Let's Flarkin rock. Cool. 4 minutes, 34 seconds, all about music, and this might get copyrighted, but whatever. I'm very just interested to learn more about the musical aesthetic of this game. So 3, 2, 1, go. Let's do this. I'm very interested to see how this is going to turn out.
Hi, I'm Steve Shipkowski. I'm the Senior Audio Director on Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Cool. Now, is this music, we've heard this a little bit, is this the game soundtrack or is this licensed?
This game.
Because I'm digging it so far.
Pretty much a rock and roll band. They are a band of misfits that found each other and have a common goal. With Guardians, the music goes beyond what a normal score and soundtrack would do. It's like rock and roll, man. It's the sights, it's the sounds, it's the smells. The ones who get it, they get it here.
There you see? He's into it.
Richard
you
Jakes
feel the vibes of the music in it.
Amazing talent. When I heard Richard's theme for the Guardians, which at the time he had just called Hero Theme, that was it.
All right.
I was done. I wanted
this definitely sounds like an actual
22-hour
heroic theme for the team and not just the metal aesthetic.
Sit down and watch somebody play and enjoy it as if you were almost
Marvel
watching
on the amp, that's awesome.
Richard's music brings an epicness to this game. when you get into those big battles and you hear the score start mounting up, you almost weep when you hear it because it's just so heartfelt, and it's the right notes in the right order playing at the right time, and it delivers magic.
Nice.
When we started
oh boy, copyright incoming!
I mean, there's so much music to choose from. Fun was the main factor.
All right.
It has to bring a smile to your face when you hear it.
I think we should...
I need, like, hard metal rock band stuff. Give me Metallica. Give me Saxon. Give me even some Van Halen if you do that. Like,
new wave sort of pop stuff.
I would love to see a huge variety of 80s rock.
I'll be honest, I grew up a huge Kiss fan, so being able to put Kiss
right, they already confirmed Kiss in the blog post back when it first showed in E3.
But I also have a huge affection for something like Gary Numan's Cars, which I just find is such a great track.
Nice.
And it fits so well. Hot Chocolate, Everybody's a Winner. Amazing
nice.
song. So if you are a child of the 80s or you have some knowledge of the music in that era, you're going to love it.
All right, let's do this.
Great.
Let's go sell a monster.
I obviously was born in the late 90s, but this is still, like, kind of some of the 80s bled into, you know, early 2000s, late 90s stuff, so I've been exposed to, like, all the great hits, so I'm very interested to see how they're going to implement that with, like, in the game, the combat and stuff.
I was looking for a reason to get
the huddle. We've seen this with the mixtape, or the, you know,
this gave
Walkman.
Me the perfect vehicle to say, what if Peter hits his Walkman and cues up one of his songs, and that infuses
it seems like it's going to be fun.
To fight
I can't lie.
And better.
Oh man, copyright! Oh, here we go. Yep.
Once you actually
Joan Jett bringing the hits.
Fighting to something like
Culture
Club or something else where it's like it's not what you would think as a music.
Oh please, I don't want to get copyright from this, but yeah, I understand what he's saying about how they're trying to bring inspiration into the game with the licensed music, kind of tailoring to the background of Peter Quill's history as an 80s kid.
The Star-Lord band was a very interesting.
This I'm interested in. The band itself is called Star-Lord.
He approached me and he was like, Peter Quill took the name Star-Lord because in our universe he loved this band growing up.
That's
Star-Lord.
Pretty smart,
what about
I will
you
say.
Spend part of your day writing this rock album.
That's why he kind of has the Star-Lord on his jacket and the slick back hair.
How much farther can
super
I go?
80s.
I wrote some lyrics. We tried writing the first song, which was Space Riders with No Names. And I always assumed that I was.
So this is like in-game the band Star-Lord, and he's behind the music for it.
That's singing.
Sweet.
And I said, well, it's me. And he just looked at me.
That's
and
awesome.
He was shocked, and he's like, that's you. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, okay, we're not changing it. So inside, I was like, you know, a little 5-year-old kid jumping, going, yes, I'm gonna get to sing on this.
Very cool. That must have been very fun for him to do.
We wanted to celebrate the Guardians and the whole rock and roll, you know, their dysfunctional family and everything that's around all that, and being able to do an album to
He's got a good voice
is like a huge honor, and I hope people enjoy the album as much as we enjoyed making it.
This is currently, as of right now, my most anticipated element of the game. You would think that the story or the combat might be something, or just playing as the Guardians, or the choice mechanics. Music is a big thing for me, so if they handle it right, which it does seem like that they are, it could definitely give a whole new flavor to the game and its world building, and also kind of like what they said, drawing onto the 80s love of music that Peter has as a character, but then also adding that into the game's soundtrack for those really specific moments during either the story beats or maybe some boss battles, and include like what we heard, like Joan Jett, Bad Reputation, you know, Hot Chocolate, and I'm sure they're going to add in some other massive 80s hits in there as well that really give the scene that extra bit of flair and just fun that I think would not be done if it was just with a classical score, but the licensed music might give it a little bit more oomph. And also there is a mode, it was confirmed, that you can turn off if you're streaming it, for example, on a YouTube channel or Twitch. You can turn off the licensed music parts of the game, so it will only play the in-game royalty-free music, pretty much, that's just from their own creation, which I'm very interested in. I mean, the music, for example, for Miles Morales is even, I would say, argue, like, as good or even better than current, like, trap, rap, hip-hop type music, synth pop, whatever you would call that specific genre of music. The beats that are in Miles Morales are so good when you're fighting like the underground goons and Roxxon, and also some of the other like main bosses in the game. and some of the more epic sequences that tailor to Miles' character, who's also a music fan in that game universe. So they're doing the same thing here, which I very, very appreciate, and I'm looking forward to more to see exactly what licensed music they can incorporate in the game. So that was the behind-the-scenes showcase for Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy behind the music, which I'm very, very much looking forward to, even more than what I already was. And I think this is definitely going to be an element of the game for music fans out there that are going to love it even more, if not as already as much as they currently do with the current choices of music that we've seen so far. But again, add in like Metallica, some Van Halen, like, you know, early 80s, late 80s Van Halen stuff. Saxon. I'm trying to think of some other bands, but those are the main three pretty much that I really, really, really need to see. Man, I'm down. I'm down for this. I think this is going to be very, very unique. Will it be Game of the Year 2021? I don't know. It's too early to tell, but again, at the very least, I think it's going to be a step forward compared to what we have already seen with the other Square Enix Marvel game of Marvel's Avengers, which, by the way, if this comes out before, I do have another video planned to release about my kind of final thoughts on Black Panther War for Wakanda within Marvel's Avengers, and just kind of where I currently stand with my perspective of the game after playing through the entirety of it. And yeah, we'll go more in depth about that in another video, but this looked really cool, and I'm very curious to see more when they showcase more trailers and hopefully some other gameplay bits as we draw closer to release. But with all that said, everyone, thank you all so much for watching. Stay merry, Marvelites. Leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you did enjoy. But until next time, peace out.